How's it going today, my friend? Hopefully, your Thursday has been beautiful. It's time to get into it. Today is part 4 of understanding plant-based fat loss. We've already given you an overview of everything we talk about. We've talked about the gut microbe. We've talked about inflammation. Today, we're going to talk about fiber and the role it plays in you being healthy or unhealthy. So strap in, grab your notepad, grab your pen, grab your water, grab your juice, grab your spliff, grab whatever you need to get your mind right. While you grab all those things and everybody comes into the room, go ahead and drop a 7 in the comments for me to let me know that you're doing good and that you're ready for this information. Appreciate you for jumping in here today. We will be going on and talking about understanding fiber's role in fat loss. Fiber's role in fat loss. I see them 7s coming through. Here, check my water, son. All right, I see them 7s coming through. I'll try this again. Fiber's role in fat loss. So go ahead and send this live to at least 5 people. Let's get this room full. Let's get this message out there. I would send it to people, but I don't think I know how. I do. Boom, 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 boom. All right, okay. I see how to do this now. Okay, it's going to, I can only do it to the first top people in my thing here. All right, okay. I see what it's doing. It's picking all the people that I've messaged recently. Dig it. All right, well, let's notify all these people real quick while everybody jumps in the room. Ask me your questions. What questions do you have about what we're doing here? So go ahead and drop your questions about fiber's role in fat loss in the question box so I can get to them as we get there. So I see the room is filling up nicely. I got a bunch of 7s in the comments, so that means you all are ready. So let's jump in. I've rambled on enough. So today we will talk about understanding fiber. You hear the term eat more fiber, eat more fiber, eat more fiber. The reason why you hear that so much is that 97% of adults get enough protein. 97% of adults get enough fat. 97% of adults do not get enough fiber. Let me repeat that again. 3% of adults get the daily required amount of fiber. 3%. The other 97% are not getting enough fiber. But why is this important? Why do you think that getting enough fiber is important? Tell me more about fiber and weight loss. That's what this whole live is going to be about, Zathos. So stick around and soak up the information. That's what we're talking about. But before I can tell you about fiber's role in weight loss and fat loss, I have to give you the basic understanding of what fiber is and the role that it plays. Because I don't want to just throw you to the wolves. I want to give you the basic knowledge that we weren't taught in schools so that you have better information to make better decisions. Is Metamucil safe to take daily? Why take fiber in a pill when you can just eat food? So my answer to that is no. I would not take Metamucil daily. I would just go eat some beans and legumes and all of these other fibrous foods that nature intended for you to eat. So what is fiber? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What is fiber? Fiber is a type of carbohydrate that the body cannot digest. Wait, what? But you said that I need it to be healthy. Well, the body cannot digest it, but we do have something in our body that can digest it. Remember the other day on Tuesday when we were talking about the gut microbe, the good bacteria and bad bacteria. Well, our bodies don't break down fiber, but good bacteria does. Good that you don't eat meat. Fiber helps us digest our food. Fiber does not help us digest our food. Fiber is a carbohydrate that is non-digestible by the body. Digestible means that the natural enzymes within our body, the natural process of the body would break it down. And fiber does not break down by the natural enzymes in the body. It is broken down by the natural bacteria that's in the body. Natural, of course it is. So most carbohydrates are broken down into sugar molecules called glucose. To dive it back a little bit more for you. Fiber cannot be broken down into the sugar molecules. Because of that, it passes through the intestines undigested for the most part. That is correct. That's right. You got it on you hit the nail on the head. Fiber does two things. You're getting a little ahead of me. We're going to talk about what it does in a second, but I want to talk to you about what it is. So fiber helps the body regulate the use of sugars and keeps you feeling full. The reason why it regulates the body's use of sugar is because, again, most of the foods that have fiber in them also have glucose in it as well. But because the body cannot break down the fiber, it takes longer for it to break down the glucose. So it has a smaller impact on your blood glucose levels. So, but you said, Coach, you said that the body doesn't digest fiber. Well, our body doesn't, but that good bacteria does. And when the good bacteria does break down the fiber, it releases something that is called a short chain fatty acid. And I'll come back and talk about that in a minute, but I want you to pin that right there for a second. Remember short chain fatty acid. Okay? So there are two types of fiber. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Again, two types of fiber. And I was researching something somewhere, and there's supposedly a third form, but I don't know enough about it. Two types: soluble fiber, unsoluble or insoluble fiber. So soluble fiber is the type of fiber that dissolves in water. This helps lower lower glucose levels, as well as lower bad cholesterol. Foods with soluble fiber are your oatmeals, your chia seeds, your nuts, your beans, your lentils, your apples, your blueberries. Soluble fiber creates like a jelly type situation in your stomach, so that coats your stomach lining, so that as it goes through, any toxins, anything that doesn't need to be there, it gets caught into that gel to be swept out. Well, what sweeps it out? Well, the insoluble fiber is the fiber that does not dissolve in water. And this is the fiber that helps bulk your stool and prevents constipation. If you need help, send me the word fiber. DM me the word fiber, and we'll talk about my Healthy and Fit 90-day program, which provides you with a meal plan, customized fitness program, and coaching and accountability by me one-on-one. DM me the word fiber if you would like to book a free discovery call to learn more. Right now, let me jump back into teaching. So if you need help, DM me that word and we'll get that conversation started for you. Let me put this in. Help, DM me the word fiber to book a free discovery call. Post and pin. All right. So now that we got that pinned up, let's go ahead and get back to work here. I appreciate everybody that's jumping in now, everybody that's been here from the beginning, and those that are jumping in right now as well. So, insoluble fiber. That is the fiber that bulks up your stool. Insoluble fiber, because it is not digested, it works like a broom. Remember how I talked about the soluble fiber turning into a jelly to collect everything into one place? Well, the insoluble fiber works as a broom to clean and move all of that stuff out and force it down towards the colon and eventually out of your body. Well, why is this important? Like I told you, 97% of Americans do not get enough fiber. So guess what 97% of Americans are? Chronically constipated. If you're not pooping at least once a day, ideally 2 to 3 times a day, that is constipation. If you're going to the bathroom every 2, 3, 4 days, that is severe chronic constipation. And the reason that constipation is a problem is because when your body is trying to eliminate waste, it has decided that the body doesn't need it. It's toxic. So when you have waste carrying around in your body for days, weeks, or months at a time, all of those toxins are sitting there to be reabsorbed into your colon. And the colon is an organ. So guess what? When things sit in your colon, they get reabsorbed into your bloodstream. So if you got waste sitting in your colon for days, weeks, that's why you end up with these chronic illnesses, because your body said, hey, I don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of it. But because you're not eating the proper foods, it's getting reabsorbed. It's getting re-entered into the body, which is causing an inflammation effect, because your body's like, hey, I need this foreign object gone, which goes back to yesterday talking about inflammation. So again, I will say this over and over. Everything is tied in. Everything is connected. That's why each one of these videos, if you go back and watch them, you'll hear me reference something that I talked about in the other video. I talked about fiber in the previous 2 videos, and I said that I'd give you a further explanation. So here we are. Boom. So I talked about it being one making the viscous jelly-like quality, and the other one being fermented to really bulk up the stool and pass things on. When you get your fiber, it plays a key role in regulating your appetite and regulating your metabolism and body fat. So now do you see the importance of fiber and why you should probably be getting it from a natural source? That's right. Peace, peace. Peace, peace. So, where are we at now? I guess now that I told you what fiber is and why fiber is important, where do you get fiber? Because somebody asked me about Metamucil. That is an over-the-store fiber that you can buy. But why do that? Why put yourself through that? Well, let's first talk about what doesn't have fiber. Let's jump into that for a minute. Your favorite meat, whether it be beef, chicken, fish, pork, lamb, goat, venison. I'm running out of duck. I'm running out of meats here. Meat has 0 fiber in it. 0. Let that sink in. 0 fiber. So not only does meat have 0 fiber, which you need to be healthy, all of the nutrients that are in that meat are recycled byproducts of that nutrient. All right, so I see this person right here is looking for a block. I have no problem doing a block party. I'm here to educate. I'm not here to entertain trolls. If I got somebody in here that's willing to help moderate, I'm not opening up to questions yet. Let me finish the presentation, and once I'm ready for questions, I'll open it up. Best book for bodybuilding. Drop that in the question, and I'll come back to that question for you. So, Key, are you available to moderate the room for me for a little while? If you are, Key, I'd appreciate it. If you can, throw a thumbs up in, and I'll add you as the moderator. Boom, my sis. I sure enough appreciate you. All right, how do I do this? Up here, this is where I go. Boom. Add as moderator. Confirm. Thank you, Key. So anybody you see throwing crazy comments or look like they are a troll or a bot, go ahead and you have the permission to block them. It's going to help me bring my audience count down and get the people in here that actually want it done. So appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that's here for the knowledge. Tambourine. All right. Best book for bodybuilding. I'm just kind of going back through here the notes. So if you have something that is important that you want me to see, make sure you put it down in the question box, because as people join the live, your comment that you put in the comment section gets missed. So where was I? We talking about what doesn't have fiber. So meat does not have fiber. Dairy does not have fiber. Processed foods does not have fiber. The whole idea behind processed foods is that they remove the fiber. They turn it down into little bitty components of what it used to be. They strip the fiber away from it. That's why when you look at flour, it's white. Flour is not white. Flour comes from wheat. So processed foods, meat, dairy, these things have zero fiber. So if that's what you're eating 80 to 90 to 100% of the time, you're in that 97% of Americans who are not getting enough fiber. So enough about what is not enough fiber. Well, what doesn't have fiber? Let's jump into what does have fiber. And I'll put them in the order of the ones with most fiber. None whatsoever. Processed meats are even worse, because they give you the worst of the meat and processed meats. I saw a video, I still got to use it, of a dude that worked in a butcher who was telling what they do with old meat. They turn it into stuff you can't tell the color of it. But I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not here to shame anybody for eating the way that they eat. I'm here to educate you so that you can make better choices and live a healthier, better quality of life. Now, with that being said, what foods are best sources of fiber? Move away from the Metamucil, move away from the stuff that you can buy over the counter. The best thing you can go do is get some whole grains. Not whole grain. Get some whole grains. So what are whole grains? Whole grains are your oats. Whole grains are wheat if you're not gluten sensitive. I'm doing very good, thank you. Whole grains are quinoa. Quinoa is oftentimes considered a grain, even though it is a seed. Quinoa is a great source of fiber. On top of that, you got spelt, you got millet, you have couscous. I could go down the line. Whole grains are your best source of fiber. Your second best source of fiber are going to be your beans and legumes. What are beans and legumes, Coach? You keep using these words. You know what beans are. Navy beans, black beans, kidney beans, red beans. And then legumes are your lentils, your chickpeas, anything that your gungo peas, split peas for my yardis. All of those are your second best source of fiber. Next after that are going to be your root vegetables. Root vegetables. So we're talking about sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, yellow potatoes, carrots, celery. No, celery is a stalk, it's not a root. Parsnips, radishes, anything that grows underground. These have a higher fiber content. Lowest on, and then you got nuts and seeds coming in fourth. The lowest form of plant-based fiber, even though it's still good, but has the least amount of fiber, are going to be your fruits, your veggies, and your leafy greens. Why do you say that, coach? And they say these are the healthiest things to eat. They are the healthiest things to eat. However, those are not the foods that are highest in fiber. The reason being, yes, beets. That's another one of the root vegetables I forgot. I got 3 of them sitting on the counter right now. I don't know how I forgot about that. Hit the nuts and seeds. So the reason why fruits and veggies and dark leafy greens are not the best source of fiber is because each of the things that I just named is about 90% water. So although it does have a high fiber content, it's mostly water. So the best sources are going to be your whole grains, oats, wheats, quinoa. And the second best are your root vegetables. Third are going to be second best are your beans and legumes. Thirds are your root vegetables. Fourth, nuts and seeds. And coming in, pulling up the rear, are your fruits and veggies. Be thankful. I'm so appreciate you. Man, I can't get my words out right. I am so appreciative of you. Let's get this out right. Okay. So now that I told you what it is, where you're going to get it, you're like, coach, but you haven't told me the important part that I came here for. How is fiber going to help me lose weight? How is fiber going to help me lose fat? Well, guess what we're going to talk about next. Come on, bring it in a little closer. Grab your pen, grab your pad if you don't have it already, because now we're going to get to the part that you really care about. I had to give you the background information so you understand why things are important. Because knowing why, to me, is more important than knowing. Because if you know why, it's easier to make the decision when you know why you're making the decision. Versus me just telling you, go eat fiber because you need to. You see the difference? Come on back to, don't go to sleep here. Come on back. Okay, so we've talked about where the fiber comes from. Let me get back to my notes. See, if I don't have my outline, I get sidetracked and go down the rabbit hole. Are you with me so far, everybody? All right, cool. So how does fiber help with fat loss? Any suggestion? Any ideas? If you've watched the last 2 lives with me, do you have any idea? That's facts, big facts. So if you have any idea, drop it in the comment section. I want this to be interactive like always. So if you have any idea of what you think why fiber might be helpful, drop it in the comments down there. That's right, Key. You got it. So that's definitely one of them. Fiber helps clean out the digestive tract. So since nobody else is throwing them in there, let me go ahead and give them to you. Fiber helps you fix bad gut bacteria. How does it do that? Go back and watch the video on Tuesday. To give you a brief overview, the bacteria, and you have about 100 billion bacteria in your gut, and they're either good or bad. Good meaning that they're supporting your life, or bad meaning that they're giving out byproducts that don't support your life. Bad bacteria like sugar, like fat, like salt. Good bacteria likes phytonutrients, likes fiber. So by fixing your gut microbe, and your gut microbe, the bacteria in your gut releases hormones, and those hormones help dictate what you eat and how you eat. Getting a little ahead of myself here. So fiber helps you fix your gut microbe, gut flora, gut bacteria, whichever word you want to use for it. How does it do that? By feeding the good bacteria, and as that good bacteria multiplies, it crowds out the bad bacteria. And because you're eating fiber, that bad bacteria is also getting swept through the colon and not just sitting there to be reabsorbed, creating more inflammation like we talked about yesterday. Fiber is going to help you reverse insulin resistance. One, because it's going to improve your gut health, which is why you become insulin resistant. Part of why you become insulin resistant is because of bad gut bacteria. Again, go look at the video about that. Don't want to spend too much time there. Because it is going to help with your insulin resistance, also because it's going to slow the uptake of glucose into your bloodstream. So now And again, let's dive back in. Insulin is the body's response to glucose being in your bloodstream. So if you have less glucose in your bloodstream, your body's going to release less insulin. If your body releases less insulin, it has a chance to balance back out to the level of insulin. You become insulin resistant at the point that your body's dumped so much insulin that your body's like, yeah, I gotta ignore this. That's just like them scammer phone calls that come in. You see it, it's like, yeah, I'm not answering that. Or if you got the clingy partner, like, yeah, I need some space. Fiber helps you to lose weight because you understand that weight or fat loss, fat loss, part of that equation is calories in, calories out. Meaning, how many calories do you take in versus how many calories does your body burn? And calories are nothing but another word for energy. Calories describe the amount of energy that is in food. So by eating more fiber, you crowd out calories. Well, how do you crowd out calories with fiber? Well, we talked about before that 97% of people don't eat enough fiber. Well, when you eat just a little bit more fiber, I forget what's the exact number here. Let me look in the book. When you just add an extra 3 grams of fiber per day, you increase your people eat less than when they eat. Okay, yes. When you eat just 10% more fiber, you eat less. Peace. Thank you for jumping in here. So when you are eating less alone, that's less calories coming in. Because you have to chew your food when you have fiber, it takes a little bit longer to chew. It slows down your rate of eating. So that means you actually have time for the nutrients in the digestive process to start, for the leptin to be released into your body to trigger you to stop eating. Fiber is going to help you feel full. So because you feel full, it's going to lessen how many times the fork goes from plate to mouth, which is going to reduce the amount of calories that you take in. As I said before, because fiber is not digestible by our body normally, it has to be digested by the gut bacteria, it slows down the rate at which calories are absorbed and are leaked into the bloodstream. So we've talked about the gut microbe, reversing insulin resistance, and crowding out calories. Fiber is also going to help relieve constipation. We kind of breezed over that real quick. Well, why is constipation an issue? If your body cannot release what it needs to get rid of, it gets reabsorbed into the body, creating inflammation. That inflammation is a part of the cycle feeding more fat cells, because inflammation prevents lipase from being able to cut a fat cell smaller so the body can burn it. So now that you have more inflammation in your body, the lipase can't do its thing, so you end up with more fat. The more fat you have, the more fat you end up with, because the more fat you have, the more inflammation you have. Again, go back and watch the video about inflammation to understand this cycle. Also, eating fiber makes you burn more calories. How, coach? Well, did you realize that your large intestine and your whole digestive tract is just muscles? Your small intestines is nothing but a muscular tube. And when it's digesting food, it's contracting and releasing, contracting and releasing, contracting and releasing to move that food throughout the system. So you're actually getting an internal workout every time your body has to digest food. And because of that, you end up burning more calories, because think about it. If you had to drink juice, if you drink a glass of juice, how easy is that for you to move through the digestive system? It ain't going to have to do much squeezing to get it to move through. However, if you got fiber, and you got fiber that's non-digestible, might take a little work to push that through, don't you think? That's the idea behind that. Can you believe it that fiber is anti-inflammatory? We just had a whole video yesterday about inflammation. and the role it plays in fat loss or preventing fat loss. So how is fiber anti-inflammatory? Well, I'll tell you. When the gut bacteria breaks down fiber, it releases short-chain fatty acids. Coach, you're getting too sciencey on me. Bring it back. Well, short-chain fatty acids sit on the hormone receptors so that your body can regulate. And it will turn off the hormones that make you want to eat more. It turns on the hormones like leptin to make you suppress your appetite. Oh, we just talked about that. Because the short chain fatty acids help you balance your hormones. They stimulate leptin production, and leptin suppresses your appetite. So there's more that I can go into. I don't want to inundate you with too much. I think you've got a better understanding now of why fiber is important and the role it plays in fat loss. If there are still questions, now is your opportunity to jump in the live, ask your question, or drop it down in the question box over here, and let's get the clarity that you need to make better decisions for your health and for your family's health. Oh, I kept this to a half hour. I'm working today. So what questions? What did I explain it well? Are there still questions? Where is there any confusion in your mind? Let's talk about it. If you have any additional questions. So if the person who asked me about the best book for bodybuilding, one of the books that I have on my shelf is actually called Plant-Based Bodybuilding. There is no, it's not called Plant-Based. It's called Vegan Bodybuilding. And it even gives you a meal plan on how a vegan bodybuilder went about to create his way. So I don't see any questions popping in here. Yes, I said the word here instead of her. I'm in coach mode, so coach mode, I have to pronunciate my words sometimes. Okay, I'm going back through. I don't see if I missed any questions or comments. Okay, if you don't have any questions about understanding fiber and the role it plays in fat loss and weight loss, I'm going to go eat my dinner now. Gave you one more minute. You can either jump in and ask your question live, or you can ask your question down in the comment box. Okay. Going once. Going twice. All right, we have no questions. I've given you the information. Now it's up to you to implement it. Can you eat too much fiber? Is there a limit? Not among the research that I found. The reason being is that fiber is going to make you full, so you can only eat so much before you get full. And then the body's going to do its process to get rid of everything. Someone asked about how it affects the immune system. So fiber affects the immune system because it helps you fix your gut microbe, and your gut microbe plays a huge response in your immune system because it releases and controls the amount of hormones that are in your system, which help control how your lymphatic system reacts. No worries, apologies. What foods can you eat again? So great question. Good way to make me recap. So understanding fiber, there's two types of fiber. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber dissolves in water. Insoluble fiber does not. One creates a jelly-like situation in your stomach to help coat things, creating mucus. The other works as a broom to bulk your stool and sweep everything out. Best foods to get your fiber from, first is going to be whole grains. Oats, wheat, if you're gluten tolerant, quinoa, spelt, millet, couscous, things of that sort. Second best source of fiber is going to be beans and legumes, nuts and seeds, root vegetables. Coming in, pulling up the rear are fresh fruit, veggies, and dark leafy greens. Give thanks. I appreciate that for Nature Mother for letting me know I explained it well. So again, if all of this sounds like Greek to you, you know you have health issues, you know you're trying to lose weight, you're carrying around that unwanted fat, send me a DM with the word fiber. And we'll go over my Healthy and Fit in 90 program, where I help you, give you all the tools you need, as well as the support and accountability to make sure that you're able to put those tools to use. What kind of bread would you recommend? For me, I eat a gluten-free bread because me and gluten don't get along very well. I eat gluten very sparingly because I found that I have a high gluten sensitivity. So the bread that I use is called Schar, Schar. I find it at Walmart. You can find it at most of your big box grocery stores. It's what is the word that I'm looking for? Specialty bread. It's not the word I was looking for, but it's the word I'm gonna use right now. And the reason being is all of the ingredients in it. It's vegan and it is gluten-free. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you all for joining in. We're wrapping up talking about and understanding fiber's role in weight loss and fat loss. So again, we talked about where you get your fiber, what fiber is, the role it plays, and how it affects you. So I appreciate you for joining me, spending some of your time here. Kosher? Absolutely it is. If you want additional help, if you need more help, not just one, if you need help, if you know you've tried this on your own and it wasn't working out, you just need somebody to remind you of what you know you already know. You need that accountability. You need that assurance. You need the things that help build you up. Get help. Whether it's me or somebody else. Don't be too ashamed to reach out for help. As adults, that's one of the things we do. Don't let your ego keep you unhealthy. If you need help, you want help, send me a DM with the word fiber, and we'll start a conversation and get you a free discovery call to see if the program is right for you. Until tomorrow, we got one last episode, and we're going to talk about everything else that we haven't talked about. Give thanks. I appreciate that beautiful promise. So appreciative. So tomorrow we'll be back here at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the foods that you need to be making sure that you avoid and you eat more of to ensure that you can really hit those fat loss and weight loss goals. And you want to lose fat and weight because it is the way to live a healthier life. So till tomorrow at 9, live healthy. Peace.